Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hi, everyone. Before we get started in today's episode, I just wanted to give you a friendly reminder that the Ascending in Your Travel Business private podcast series is going to become available next Wednesday, August 16. You will want to sign up for these 5 unique interviews that I've had and featuring just powerhouses within the industry in alphabetical order: Lori Gold, Dr. Tarika L. Hain, Angela Hughes, Edward Jean, and Jackie Williams, who are all at the CEO level. And I will say CEO level can mean different things, but what I really see is the overall view of what a CEO level is that they've mastered how to get clients. They've mastered some of their systems and processes, and they're really looking at how they can increase their influence for their travel business. And really, when we're thinking about CEO level, CEO has the teams in place to get things done, or they are quickly trying to elevate themselves to that status. So, and this doesn't necessarily have to mean that you have a whole full-blown team. This can mean just that you have an assistant or that you're really great with automations and all that. But I want you to dive into those episodes because each one is so unique. There are some similarities that I hope to address in some future episode with you. What I find is the commonalities between many of these people. The overarching one is that they are not afraid of taking action. So if you want to get some good juju and good vibes from them, make sure to head over to travelbiztraining.com to register, or head to the link down in the show notes in case travelbiz.com isn't working quite right for you. Also, on top of that, so it's free to register, there is a $10 think tank that you can add on to your private podcast feed. And that really is a day with me and some of your peers within the industry. And we're going to network with each other. And we're also going to mastermind with each other based on the audio series. What can you take away from the audio series to get you in a better position in your own travel business? So think tanks are some of my favorite things to do. So I really hope that you join us for that. It is only $10, so super low investment. I did want to make it super accessible for you who are either starting out or just having challenges right now, really growing your business. So without further ado, speaking of costs of things, getting into the meat of what this episode is. And this, I've had this on my mind for a while now to talk about the different costs. And this may end up being a shorter episode. So if it is, yay. If it's not, I'm sorry. But I just see so often in Facebook groups, people don't understand what things cost, and what things specifically I'm meaning are hiring people. This can also be technology in a sense. But I think really what I'm meaning and what I want to discuss is hiring people. Not only how much should they cost, but what you should get, because there's so many different things that you can buy within the travel industry nowadays. So many more than when I started back in 2010. And 2010 wasn't even that long ago. But there are so many resources from people who are either experts in their field, or who have gotten to that CEO level in their business, or have really mastered a certain area of their business, who are offering services or courses or one-on-ones or masterminds and things like that. And I feel like the industry has or doesn't know or doesn't understand what things cost. And so I kind of just wanted to uncover this because I have worked in the online business space for a couple of years now, as well as the travel business. And so I do know kind of what things cost based on what my peers are charging for their own services, based on what I'm charging. And I think even before we get into the cost of things, because I know some people, I know you're going to be, I would never pay that, which is fine. And I think, I know that there's going to be some arguments about it. And I am, just to get you in the mind frame of where I am coming from also, is that you are hiring people who are also business owners. And if you think something is too high, I'm not going to say that you're right or you're wrong, but I also want you to consider what support does that person you're hiring have? Because someone that has additional support may charge a higher rate because they really want to stay within their zone of genius and have regular admin people take care of lesser type of skills. And when I mean lesser type of skills, it's really those skills that either, a young person has because they're skilled in that, they've grown up with it, specifically talking with social media, or it is, someone who has not yet been able to level up their game, and so they're still at a certain level. And so if we're talking about hourly work, because I think that's probably the easiest way, and I know a lot of people like to think that $20 is a really great rate, but if you are paying someone $20 an hour, and you have to think that this person, they're an independent contractor technically, they do have to pay their own taxes. So if I'm figuring 30% of $20, this person really is only bringing in $14 an hour. So the benefit of you hiring a contractor is that you have that one-stop shop. You don't have to worry about the expenses of an employee. Like you don't have to worry about workman's comp. You don't have to worry about health insurance. You don't have to worry about the taxes. And not only do you not have to worry about that type of stuff, but you also don't have to take the time to get all that stuff taken care of. Similarly, like with onboarding and training and all that. Now, you probably do have some training processes and SOPs. I'm just letting you know that when somebody is being paid $20 an hour, they're going to account $6 of that 30%, to the taxes that they have to pay, which means that they're only technically getting paid, $14 an hour. I am not for this at all. I am very much a proponent for people having a living wage, and all of you, many of you I feel like all of us are living in a day and age now where rents and mortgages have skyrocketed. Not only has that the total cost of living has skyrocketed over the past couple of years. Going to the groceries has skyrocketed. Buying cars has skyrocketed. Like, that is not a livable wage. What I think is a more appropriate hourly wage for someone, and the reason that I also mentioned livable wage is because if you can pay somebody a livable wage, they will do better work for you, point blank. Not only will they do better work for you, they'll be more motivated to do better work for you, not just the bare minimum, and they'll want to stay with you in the long run. And you might be able to graduate them from an admin position to maybe like an ops manager at some point in your journey of being a travel business owner. And so that's why I say my minimum livable wage is going to be $35 an hour. I currently don't have somebody, I don't work with an admin person or anything like that. But when I hire somebody, that minimum hourly rate is going to be $35 an hour, because $35 an hour means that $10.50 goes to taxes, which means what they're actually getting paid in their pocket is $24.50. And I use that 30% just as a kind of like roundup number. And no, I am not accounting either for like overseas jobs. I know that a lot of people, and this is why I'm like, I know I'll probably get a lot of crap for this, because a lot of people say like, get that cheap labor overseas because of the exchange rate and all that. And I don't like that either. I'm very anti that. I'm not very anti you hiring somebody overseas. I'm very anti, again, that not livable wage. I've just been, and this is funny, that through a reality TV show, just been seeing like a lot in the Philippines, and especially the lack that they have. And I can't do it. Like ethically, morally, to me, like it's just not right. And if you are paying yourself what you should be paying yourself, $35 an hour should be nothing. See, if we're thinking that you need somebody for 10 hours a month for admin work, that comes out to $350 a month. What is that? That's like, that should be a really great cruise vacation. If you are selling high-end luxury, that like one client and more than that is paid off for you. So that you have to like look at it in the long run also. And then if you are not in the position to afford that rate, what can you do to afford that rate? I mean, $35 an hour, I feel like even in this past year probably isn't enough. Like I feel like I should up that to $40 an hour, because the cost of things is just astronomical. Also taking into consideration that the travel business is not easy. Maybe if you're a travel coach, it's a little bit easier. But if you are selling travel either on the advisor side or the supplier side, there are tons of rules and regulations and legalities, and we have to have special insurance, business insurance and all that needs to cover us. So if you are also not doing your part to making sure that you are getting compensated what you need to be getting compensated, you need to reevaluate what your fees are in your business or the products that you're selling in your business to get the money that you should be making. I think that's kind of like the trap that a lot of people get into, is charging a little bit less than really the value that they give out. And another pitch for the Ascending in Your Travel Business Summit, Jackie Williams really touches this and also sets me straight in the interview with her. So that's why I say, like, you have to be able to listen, you have to like sign up for it, because there's so much insight, especially when you talk to people or listen to people who are at that CEO level, who are thinking bigger and larger than what many people are thinking, and looking at things in their business as playing really small. Alrighty, so that is my rant, insights on and how I feel very strongly about hourly rates. Now, hourly rates I feel are going to be best for things like admin work. Does somebody need to send an invoice? Can somebody put together an itinerary based on a library that you have? Could they do a little bit of destination research for you? So those are things. Or can they put documents together? Can they create like a quick graphic in Canva via template or something like that? So that's what I would consider hourly work. When you talk about like more advanced or targeted work, meaning that you're hiring somebody for social media, that is specialized, because people who work in social media are not only paying attention to what's trending, what's working, they're experimenting with a lot of things. There's a lot of brain power that goes under social media. And I know many of you may be rolling your eyes being like, all you have to do is post. If you've not listened to my past episodes, no. all you have to do is not just post. There is so much that involves a social media strategy. Not only that, there are so many different social media platforms that not all strategies are created the same way. And I will give you a very hard experience from myself that I've learned on this, in that, I feel like I'm a pro at making really simple Instagram reels. And I have been trying to test some of those reels on TikTok recently. I'm a complete newbie at TikTok. What works for reels does not necessarily work for TikTok. TikTok is a completely different beast. Similar, but different, because it's a different type of audience as well. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but my people aren't even on TikTok. Maybe not yet, but they could be. And, I have long been fighting the whole TikTok and joining TikTok. And honestly, I don't even have the app downloaded. I just have it on my desktop. And it is a whole different beast, and tons of people, you can't knock it because tons of people are generating sales from TikTok. And not only that, your current audience may not be on TikTok, but the future of travelers is on TikTok. So if you expect to be in the travel business for, I'd say, another 10, 20 years, you might want to dabble into TikTok. And that's also if you are trying to grow your audience or increase your visibility. Because if right now what you're currently doing is working for you, I want you to go work in your zone of genius and then maybe add somebody who has expertise. I kind of went on a tirade for that as well, because social media is a complex beast. And because I'm semi in this world, I'm around a lot of people who are experts. And I would consider myself a little baby expert in social media. And it is a monster. So when people are like, oh, but I just want to charge hourly. No. Social media is not an hourly work. If you want to pay somebody hourly, that's at least $100, $150 an hour. Like, that really is more of a package plan per month. And you pay by the package based on what's included. So I would say like the going rate to get not necessarily a newbie social media manager and not necessarily an expert social media manager, so somebody a little bit in the middle, 3 posts a week, to also copyright those posts, to create something engaging about that post so that people do some sort of action, to create some sort of converting call to action, to research the hashtags that go onto that post. Because again, there's a lot of different things that go behind. And then also to optimize the post for the certain channel that you want. That type of package is going to be $1,200 a month and up. I know some people who are on the expert level of social media managers, their monthly packages begin at $2,500 a month. So I'm giving you like the full enchilada here of the ranges of what things cost. So that is like more of a one-on-one service. I would also say, so that's one-on-one service. Talking about one-on-one consults, those range and vary, I feel, between people, because some people have just 30-minute consults, some people have 60-minute, and some people have 75-minute consults. And I say those would all range between like $150 and $350 per session, whatever a session means to that person. Another type of consulting or coaching that you can hire on is like a day of Voxer support or a half day of Voxer support. And that really is, I don't know if you have heard of the Voxer app, but clearly it is related to the Voxer app, where it's like a walkie-talkie app. So instead of being on a call and kind of like being tied down to like a Zoom session or anything like that for like an hour, a little bit over an hour, it's more of an asynchronous platform where you can be like, I really need help with banana beans. I don't even think banana beans are a thing, but I really need help with banana beans. okay, what, and then the other person, so you can set up like for 4 hours, or you can set up for 8 hours, and it doesn't mean that you're tied having to be stuck like to your Voxer app the whole day. What I really like about Voxer sessions is that it's really like go with the flow, and you answer when you can. Like, you have a designated day to get answers to your Voxer messages, but also if an important client call happens to come about, you can actually pause your day a little bit, take care of your client, and then get back to the voice messages. If you have to go pick up kids from school, if you have a dance lesson that you've been looking forward to all week, if you have a community service project like during the day, it really is meant to not be on for the full 4 or 8 hours. It's meant to be like a more leisurely way to have a coaching session. And I feel like depending on the packages, and not only depending on the packages, but depending on the need that you have, need to have filled, it could run from like, I would say like $150, maybe $350, up until like $1,000 or $1,200 for that type of support. Then we're talking about courses, I think, is another big thing on getting assistance. And I would say things that are like super simple and like super targeted, like there's a specific outcome. So full disclosure, right now my marketing starter kits are $55. I was going to say an hour. No, they're just $55 to purchase the information and the strategies that I have included in the resources, and then also any updates that I make to them. And so I would say there's a range in courses, like something targeted like that, I feel is very much $100 or less is probably like a good going rate, maybe $150 depending on all the support that you get or whatnot. There's going to be some like lower cost items, like memberships may be a little bit lower cost, and like memberships like range from a vast, and I feel like memberships is such a personal decisions because, I run Marketing Business School. It's currently $25 a month, but I know other memberships that are $9 a month, like the email marketing membership. And I know other memberships that are kind of like in the $40, $50-ish a month. And then some higher ticket that are like $100 a month plus. And I think when you're trying to figure out like where do you want to invest, I think part of what you have to invest is, or take into consideration, is what are you going to get out of it? Is this, is this solving a specific problem that you are dealing with right now in your business? And you just need a quick win, because a quick win targeted is going to cost a little bit less than if it's going to be a continuous type program. It also depends, are there going to be live calls? Are you going to be able to submit questions? Those things are going to be a higher ticket value. So the more one-on-one or FaceTime that you have with somebody in the program, the higher ticket it is, because this person that you're learning from has gotten further ahead in their journey, or knows something, or like has used a strategy and it's worked, and they're utilizing their intellectual property to help somebody else get further along in their business. It's very similar to you as a travel business owner. You are getting paid on your intellectual property that you've acquired either through trainings or through in-person experiences, specifically in the realm of travel. And you also need to get paid appropriately for the intellectual property that is in your brain. So yes, working one-on-one with you is going to cost more. Also, the amount of support somebody gets is going to cost more. So if you are on just a booking model, you just want to book with me, that might be like $100. The end. You're not providing any additional support. If somebody wants to get the full enchilada, that may cost like $500 per booking, per cabin. This may be $500 per person. But you have to figure these out based on what your business model is. And also, how much time, technically, do you want to trade for the money for the consultation fee, or maybe you're even doing something like a membership where people pay $1,000 a year to work on up to 2 or 3 trips with you. Everybody has a unique business model. The overarching theme here is saying that working one-on-one with you costs extra money because your time is expensive, because like we know, time is money. And so when you're, same thing like when you're working on somebody to help support your business, time is money on their end. So things are going to cost more. Now, there's some courses that are also going to be like within that, like, I want to say maybe like $200 to $500 or $600 range. And I feel like those, it's really going to depend again on what you get, because you might get more. There might be more information. This might be more of a comprehensive training than just like a specific targeted training. You want to consider like how many resources you're going to get. Are you going to get access to updates? Are you having lifetime access to this program and any updates, or do you only get access to this program for a limited amount of time? Similarly, I know there's a lot of people who are okay with buying courses, but also want support by the course runner. So is that something that you're going to get? And if it is, how much does that cost? So those are things to consider, like with a higher ticket kind of course program. And then there's programs out there that like cost over $1,000. And I know there's some programs that are like $2,000 and some programs that are $5,000. And I struggled with those sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, especially the higher ticket type where you're spending thousands of dollars with somebody and you don't even get face time with that person. And I feel, again, that personally for me goes against my values, goes against my ethics. Like, how are you supposed to sell a $2,000 to $5,000 course or program to somebody and they don't even get face-to-face time with you? So that's something that I personally could not do. And that's, I think, something that you should consider. Maybe you're fine with it. Maybe you're fine with it because you know the outcome is going to be even greater than that. Great. That's not something that I'm fine with. Like, if I'm paying, I have paid less than that. I know that there was a membership program that I was a part of that I got an intro rate because I was part of a different program with her. And this was on podcasting specifically, where my intro rate, I think, was like $40 or $50 a month. And I knew that person that ran that group, and that person knew exactly who I am and what I did. Like, we had a personal relationship. And later on, she increased the rate to like $100 and then closer to $200. So if you're really looking for some sort of mentorship program where the person that's running this group is going to know you, that's going to be about $200 a month. Or good programs are going to be between like $100 and $200 a month. But if this is a course that you're paying like $2,000 to $5,000, which, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. And I would hope that you vet the person. I would hope that when you're taking into consideration something like that, how much are you getting one-on-one time? Do they even know your name? Because if you're not going to get one-on-one or small group time with them, I don't think that's right. I laugh because I'm like, I'm just going to speak the truth of this. I don't think it's right for somebody to take thousands of dollars from you and then you never have a single one-on-one conversation with them. So that's my 2 cents on that subject there. But again, figure out the whole comprehensive program, because there's another coaching program that's not industry specific. She started her program at $500 a month, and I think now it's maybe like $1,000 a month. But You get a personal coach to work with every single month. You get quarterly retreats to help you on your goals. And then I believe she also does coaching and looks at things within your business. So for that you have, and these are trained coaches, because there's a lot of things that I've heard like within the travel industry. So that's why I'm trying to take like ideas of inspiration from outside of the travel industry, so you kind of know what other people are doing, not specific to the travel industry. And I think this also has a lot to do with there was an episode that I did about coaching, and it was pretty ranty about coaching. Let me see if I can find the number so I can share. Oh, it was episode 91, what coaching is and isn't, because that word coaching has really, a lot of people are just calling themselves coaches, and they don't have the appropriate training to call themselves a coach. And what you'll listen in on that episode, if you need a refresher or anything like that, is a coach does not give you advice. So if somebody is giving you advice, they're not a coach by the definition that was deemed by the International Coaching Federation, that does certify people who are coaches. Very much like the three main certification areas in the travel industry are CLIA, ASTA, and the Travel Institute. That's it. Like if you're getting a certification from somebody else, okay. I am throwing like all sorts of shade in this episode, but I want to be as real as possible with you as well. Now, a consultant can give advice by the definition of what a consultant is. So, again, you can go to episode 91 for a refresher. So I hope that this has given you a little bit of an insider into my brain. We've talked a little bit about what a minimum viable income is for somebody if you're doing hourly, what some sort of packages, like hourly packages, can look like if you're working with somebody. We talked about courses, both targeted but also big time growth. We've talked about like those big programs. Something that we haven't really talked about is VIP days. And VIP days are really going to be in that whole like $1,000 plus range, because you are getting some sort of, you are getting some sort of result immediately at the end of that day. So I know within our industry, there's a lot of people there's some people who will do VIP days to like set up your project management tool. There's also VIP days to set up your CRM. And by setup, I mean set up in terms of creating task lists, creating templated emails, putting in your forms. So really building up your CRM, specifically TravelJoy, building up these CRMs so that when you are like, you don't even have to worry or fluster with anything, like it is built up for you, and you just start using the process and systems that somebody has built in based on the frameworks that you have for your own business. And so that is going to cost, like somebody that would have taken, imagine the time that would have taken you, not only to create these templated emails, but also to figure out what your workflow is or what your task lists are or the things that always have to be happening. If you're thinking about it in the long term, it is well worth the $1,000+ to get it done in a day. Maybe sometimes it's within a week, to get that result ASAP so that you can start booking more efficiently and saving time with all of the kind of like shortcuts that you now have in your program. So that's something else that I would consider, is that there's also pricing for VIP days. So let me know in the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur group, what did you think? Let me know what's your take on some of these pricing, what things cost within or outside of the industry. And if you would also like to be a little bit cheeky, send me a message what you thought. And you don't have to give me too many details, but let me know, was there a program that like really underwhelmed you, and how much did it cost? and what did they promise versus what did they deliver. So I would like to know. You don't have to tell me what the program was per se, but I would like to know what the program was supposed to be about, just so that we can put more truth and transparency out there as well in this industry, so people can know what to look out for if something is a worthy investment or not. Alrighty, remember to sign up for the audio series, Ascending in Your Travel Business, and I will see you next week. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.